What's up guys, it's Selka, and today I'll be breaking down Bitcoin and Ethereum in the smaller time frame. So in this video you'll find out about the upcoming move that I'm expecting and what I think will happen seeing this chart. So of course I'm using the wave theory in this video, and I'll be explaining it in details as much as I can. So we're gonna get into it right now. Alright, so we're gonna start with Bitcoin, and I'll try to be as clear as possible because I know some people just subscribe to my channel and they don't really know about the method, and even there are some people that are newbie into the wave theory, and that's why I'll try to break down every move and it take time to explain it. So we're gonna start with Bitcoin, like I said, and we have to go through the structure right there just to make sure you guys understand how I see this pattern. So I'll use a different color, let's say yellow, and before I get into it, you gotta understand that to me this is an impulse, and often what happen after impulse is that you get a retracement. All right, this retracement, this first impulse that you get retracing the movement, all right, this first impulse you get often a retracement, and this first retracement is most of the time an A move. So this is the first part of a three-wave correction. So when you see this, you don't expect the market to go like this. You expect something to go slow and then give another wave, because we know that correction comes in three-wave most of the time. So like I said right there, you got this retracement. You don't really expect the move to do like this. You expect something that goes slowly up. If that's a running flat, it will break the top, come back down, won't break this low and go back up. And if it's regular flat, you'll see it go slowly up. It won't break this top and go back down to break that low before going up. So basics, you have the patterns in the top right corner, and as long as you see a breakout of the top, you think running flat, and as long as you don't see the breakout of the top and the breakout of the low, now you know that it's a regular flat. So that's just some basics. But seeing right there that first retracement, I thought that this was an A move, alright? And I was expecting a slow move up for a regular flat at first, because this is the one that comes most likely. So between running flat and irregular flat, it depends on the asset that you're looking at. Some does a regular flat often compared to running flat, and some does running flat often compared to regular flat. So both are possible, both are the most probable one, but I like to just go with regular flat most of the time because you often see some regular flat. All right, and now in that case it came to break the top. So at this moment, this is why you got to be careful, because you know that another wave, which is the third wave, should be coming before completing the correction. And that's what happened. You got the third wave, it didn't break the low, you got this running flat that you see right there. Then you got the other up move. So at this point, when you get the other up move and it breaks that top, which is the target, at this point you completed this structure. So this structure is now done. You don't even need to think about it anymore. This is now part of the impulse of a bigger correction that should happen. It's as basics as this. When you get this corrective pattern completed, you got to go on the bigger time frame and see the bigger impulses that it made off that corrective pattern and expect a bigger correction. So that's how it goes. People took profit right there, and people took the opportunity to get back to buy back in. Then all this becomes an impulse, and more people will take profit, and there will be more transaction later on, and that's why you get a bigger correction later on. So it's classic. Now I switched this by accident, so let me go back on Bitcoin. But you see, this is a running flat and this is done. So to me, A, B, C, like this, A, B, C, and now this corrective pattern is done, with this being the first impulse and this the second impulse that comes after. Now you got to keep in mind that to me, and like in the wave theory, an impulse that comes after a correction can be an impulse that comes before another correction. So this impulse right there is the impulse of a future correction. So if I put it in a different color so you know that it is possible, it happens like this. This impulse can be the impulse of a future correction, and that's where we're in right now. I think, and there's two ways to see it, like I said in my weekly analysis, I'll break it down in the two different ways. The first one is to see this as the first retracement, which is the A move. It's possible, just like I did for the running flat, I'll break it down the same way. You see this and you expect a slow move coming up, and if it doesn't break the top, then you go for a regular flat. If it breaks, you go for a running flat. All right, now it didn't break the top, so you expect a move to come down and break the A move, all right, for a regular flat. Now in some case it happens to be an contracting flat, which is where it doesn't break the top and it doesn't break the bottom of the A retracement. It only range between, make an impulsive wave that comes and don't break this low. So basically it looks like this. You have a retracement, slow move up, and this come down, but it won't break that low, you see, and it won't break that top either. So it stayed between that range before going up and breaking up towards upside. And that what happened. So you see, if that's a contracting, this came and broke the top. So this structure is now done, no need to talk about it. It breaks the top. From that point you start for another structure, and now I'll take another color since it's another structure that comes with this impulse. So you have this impulse, first retracement. I'll do the same thing again. So let me just take back that color just to complete, because I didn't write that this was a B wave and this is C wave. But see, if I get back on purple right there, this slow move up, you get a first retracement, you expect a slow move up, which is what happened. Slow move up, this one came and break the top, so I see this as an B wave. Then I expect a move that will be impulsive and come back down, but won't break the A move. But again, just like the contracting, in some case you see this pattern coming and breaking the A, but also breaking the top, which is what we called an expanding. So in that case it could be an expanding, which because it breaks the bottom of the A move. And if that's the case, then this is the C wave, and we're going to expect another impulse to come and retest the top. So I know the purple is not the best color to see, but basically an expanding, I'll put it right there, is you have a drop, A move, you have a slow move up that comes and break the top, which is the B move, and you have a slow move down, an impulse move that comes and break the A move. So you see right there, you break both, you break out the range both times, and this is the C move before you get an impulse. So this is exactly what happened and what could be seen as an expanding. So if that happened, then you get an impulse. The thing is, all these corrective pattern happens within having a small impulse. All right, when you have small impulse and a lot of correction, that's where you got to be careful. So I'll just do it, put it in a different color so it's better to see. But if you have an impulse correction, but you get smaller impulses like this, smaller impulses and bigger correction, that means that at some point this is losing a momentum and you will get a bigger correction. All right, because this can be seen as an impulse, and the bigger correction will happen for another impulse. So now I know it's getting messy, but you understand that these corrections are not healthy. You're getting a lot of small correction and small impulses, and at some point this move will be will have its own correction, and it's just about it's just you'll have it. Sometimes you cannot know when it will happen, but you know that you will have it. So at this point you gotta be careful that every structure are done, which means that this running flat is done. You see, it's completed. This one is done, it's completed. This one is done, it's completed. And from that point, since all are completed, the best thing you can do at this spot right there is to be careful for the A move, which is the only move that is left to happen. So this could happen, and if it happens, you know that if it breaks the bottom of your previous correction, you know that it has some chance to be the big correction that you're looking for. Now you got to keep in mind that it's not impossible that this goes up without breaking the lows. It can simply make a new correction. So this being an A move, this being a slow move up to break the top, for example, go back down, make a running flat like this, and have another push. Right, it can make as much push as it wants. The only thing we know is that this will have to give a correction, a bigger one, and bigger than all this. All right, so the correction should be really bigger than these one, and it could happen. All right, so that's why this is still a possibility. You got to keep in mind that this is possible. You got to keep in mind that it doesn't need to be a running flat also. It can be an A move right there, a slow move like this, won't break this top, and then go back down, make a regular flat before going up. So this being a B move and this a C move. So again, you have the different corrective pattern in the top right corner, but also this could be a regular flat before going up. But at some point, this does not invalid the fact that you will have to have a bigger correction sometime, right? It's in bigger time frame, so you cannot really clearly see it right there, but the correction will be happening and it's a bigger one, so it will take much time compared to those one. And that's what you got to keep in mind. So as long as we're above these lows, we're in an uptrend. So you see, every time we were, I'll remove them all, correction, but every time you were above those low, you get a correction, it goes up. Above this low, you get a correction, it goes up. Above that low, you get a correction, it goes up. Above that low, same thing. So you follow the lows of the A move. So this is where you got to be careful. The A move, you follow those lows. In that case, that's the expanding. So we take the C move, which is the lowest point of the correction. But every time you follow the lowest point of the correction. So this A move, this A move. In that case, it's the expanding, this is the C move. And now, if that's a correction, so if you see this will be the point. As if it goes under that, it probably will break this last correction, and this is where you got to be careful. So right there, if it's range and it goes down, you have high chance of starting the first starting the big correction that you're looking for. All right, so if I put it like this in the 4-hour chart, this at some point, if it breaks this low right there, you can see something like this, and it's clearly possible, and this will be perfect to get in the midterm, as this will be the last opportunity right there. But this is really meant to happen. This could happen at any moment, because now you're seeing this as an impulse that is in the bigger time frame, just like this one. You see this one? So every time we were making small correction right there, we knew that this big correction like this was coming. So we know that sometime a big correction will be coming to go further down, further up on that case, but this one went further down. So I'm expecting this is not enough. This is even looking like an end of a structure. And the way I can tell you about it is simply putting the MACD. So in the 4-hour chart, and even though in the 1-hour chart it's clear, you see you get an impulse right there. You get a top in volume, another top that comes on top of that last one, but the volume is down. So you see how the volume come down and the price goes up, and that means that at some point this will probably go down and make and reverse the momentum, right? So you see something like this. Now this is not enough to you to take a trade, to think about what will be coming. So it's just an idea. It gives you an idea on when the returnment should be happening, but you don't even need this if you understand enough the price and the market. So if you understand that this is losing in momentum because it's making small correction and small impulses, you don't even need the MACD, which is the volume, to understand that. So if you have small impulses, small correction, at some point, like I said, you will have that bigger correction, and it's only healthy for the market to have this, because if you see that impulse looking like this, you know that the correction will be even bigger because the impulse got even bigger. So what we want, what is a steady market, is when you have impulse correction, and that's where you see a price going like this. So perfectly going perfectly like a straight line. But you can imagine this going like this if you have small impulses, small correction. All right, so that's the goal of a healthy market. Now if you have this, then you will have a correction to make it healthy, to make the price goes like this. If you go up, you make a correction. So I know it's not really clear. It's the best way I can tell you about why those impulses are not healthy, is that you expect the market to go on a straight line, to be as healthy as possible, but a straight line looking like this. But obviously it's impossible. There's no market that goes on a straight line. But if you want a healthy market that is close to go like this, then you will have to have a correction, impulses, correction, impulses, correction, but clean. So you see the impulses, the correction match the impulses, and often what it happens. So I won't take too much time on this, just to let you know that having an impulse like this is not healthy as long as we don't have the correction that comes for it, and this might happen pretty soon. Now if we get into the analysis, as I'm not done with it, I told you that there's another way to see the pattern, and it's what I think right now, I see it. But again, it doesn't really matter, because in both case, this is the top of your structure, and this is most likely an A move, right? Either an A move, or, and I'll put it in a different color, let's say green, either an A move or the start of the bigger correction. So in both cases, it's an A move. So in both cases, it's an A move, but either for a bigger correction, or in the other scenario is that it's for a smaller correction, which will be something like this and then go up. So for example, this one. So it's every time you see a structure like this and it completed every other structure before, you got to think of the first retracement to be an A move. So that's why in both cases, even though you see this as a running flat like I do, even though you see this as a running flat and this as the A move, this as the B move, and this is the C move, with this being the impulse before and this after, in both cases this is your top, and since this is your top, this is your A move, and this is most likely going to be a B move. Okay, so running flat or contracting or plus expanding, either way this is your top, so no need to talk about this one more. In both cases, like I said, it's the top, so that's what you got to keep in mind. Now if we go in smaller time frame, let's say 15 minutes, just to see this move clearer, we know that this is most likely an A move, or this is probably an A move, but I say most likely because I'm pretty sure it's an A move. We don't know if this A move is done, and what will tell you if this A move is done is a correction. A correction will tell us that this move is not done. If it's a small correction, it will tell us that it's the bigger move for the bigger correction, and if it's not a small correction, if it's going pretty high near that top, it tells us that this is most likely going to be a small correction for another push. So let me break this down completely before I get into it, because I know people are struggling sometimes with this. But if you get a move that goes down and that make a small correction, this correction has a lot of chance to be a correction for that impulse, and means that it's going down. So a correction that just extend the impulse and make the impulse comes bigger. All right, after that, this whole impulse, like I just said for the uptrend, this whole impulse right there will have its correction, just like this whole impulse up will have its correction. And when it's the case, you'll expect a bigger correction later, but we know that this correction becomes a correction for all this impulse, and that's why we're expecting an up move. But in sometimes you either have this, or you have the other scenario where you have a small impulse just like this one, but unless you don't have this small correction, you have a bigger correction. And what that means is that there's chance that this becomes just like the yellow scenario, but most of the time you'll have another impulse down, contact the low, and go back up, and this will be your correction. So it won't be a bigger correction, it will only be this correction. But it doesn't mean that you'll not have this yellow correction anymore. It simply means that you'll have it later on. So later on you'll have it. So I don't know if that was clear. I hope it was. But to make it simple, if this retracement right there goes up higher near that top of that A move, then this means that this should come back down, and this will be a flat, so a continuation for another push up. And if it goes back from right now, if it comes down from right now, then it can still be part of a bigger correction. So it needs to go back to come down from right now. If it push up again, then I won't consider this as a correction for another drop. I will consider this as of course a correction for another drop, but I mean I won't consider this as the start of the bigger impulse. I will consider this as the correction for another drop and then an up move. So see, the way to know if it's a correction for another up move is just to know how far this correction goes near that top. And if it goes back down like this, like I said, this will be, to me, especially breaking those low, will be the start of probably the bigger correction. Right, I drew like shit right there, but you see, probably the start of a bigger correction. So at this point we can break down the smaller structure, and I'll go on the 5-minute. And this smaller structure is, yeah, we can break it down. You have an impulse right there. This is your A move. You have a first retracement, which is also a move. Then you have a correction that came and broke the top, which is a B move. But this is a big A move, which means this is an A move for that impulse. So let me put it on different colors so I don't lose you. This impulse is this A move. This A move is from another structure, which is this one. So I'll put back the color right there. Then you have a drop that didn't come and break the low, but it did come and break the top, which is a running flat. Then it completes, this running flat completes your B wave. So your B wave is all this. All this is your B wave. And then you have a C wave that came and broke the top. So now this pattern is potentially completed. This pattern should go down and break the lows. If it's a correction that is completed for that drop, it should come down right now. All right, now in some case this still push, make correction, still push, and if that's the case, then we're going to go for the scenario I just talked about minutes ago, is when this is an A move, as we know, and this is, if it keeps pushing, which is possible, then I'll take this as a B and I'll expect a C before going up. So simple. All right, if it drops from right now, then all this is still an A move. If it doesn't drop and keep pushing, this becomes a B, this is an A, and I'll expect a C for another push. So as simple as it gets, I think you can understand that. Now I think I'm done with Bitcoin. I told you about it, and this is what now we're exactly in the spot that I'll be looking for. So see if there's a potential volume, if there's a way that this goes higher, but in some case, having this fast retracement means that this could go higher, just like this one. You see where exactly this one, just this one, fast retracement went higher with a setup, so it can do that fast retracement, go higher with a setup. So it doesn't mean that it can drop right now. I think that this could drop, all right, but it doesn't mean that it will. So if you see a flag, it means that it's going up, like this flag right there, or even this flag. So you see, if you see a range like this, then it should go up. If you don't see it, take it as this is a correction for downside, because you have it, your countdown, this is ABC. So basically this is clear. As long as you don't have this, you're seeing bearish right there, just because you don't have this flag. Now if you get a flag, you must be bullish. If you don't, you must be bearish. That's my opinion. So I think I took 20 minutes for that, so I'll try to go quicker on Ethereum. So Ethereum, this one is more clear. You have this expanding, all right, ABC expanding. Now you have another impulse which came with this impulse. You have this drop, which is an A right there. This is a B to me, all right, with this being an ABC also, so this can extend the B wave. Then you'll have a drop. So there's two ways to see actually this move. All right, let me just come back at it. There's actually two ways to see it. First one is that this is an expanding. So just like Bitcoin is possible having this as an expanding. So this will be an A move, this will be a B move, and this will be a C move. And you have this, contracting, and this is an expanding. All right. So this is a B move, C move, and that you had this impulse before. Then you get another impulse, and that expanding, that contracting that came after, I should make it another color, like I will do it like this. But yeah, this is a contracting also with another impulse. Now what you got is a running regular flat. So right there you have all the different possible patterns. So this will help you out understand difference between them. But this is a regular, this is a contracting, and this is an expanding. So if that's a regular, this should come and retest the top before dropping and making a bigger correction. So there is no potential running flat right there. I mean, there is one potential if this is your A, all this is your B, which is possible, and having this as a C wave, then an up move, it's possible, it could happen. Now I'm not sure about it, because I mean, I should think about it when I see the price giving a retracement, if it does, but you can consider this being a contracting, this being an expanding, and this being a regular, and seeing the price goes down, give a correction, and goes down for a bigger correction, right? So basically what you need to be careful of is that low. If you break that top, be careful of that low, and if it's range right there after breaking that low, then be careful at this one, because if it breaks this one, you're definitely on a downtrend in the smaller time frame, so you're expecting a bigger correction. So Ethereum is simple. I'm not gonna go take too much time on it. Just keep in mind that for this one, the low that you'll be careful of is that one in the smaller time frame, especially if you break that top. So if you break that top, you be careful of that low. So if you break that top, be careful of that low, because if it breaks, you probably see a lower reaction, a range, and if it breaks that range, be careful of that one, because this is the low of your potential contracting, and if that's the case, then it should break and then make a bigger correction. So every time you're gonna see those low being broken, you're gonna see a correction, and if you see that, this means that you're going down. So you rarely see this coming up, making impulses like this and then coming down. Most likely it's coming up, down, breaking a low, make a correction, go down, breaking a low, make a correction, this time bigger, since the low is bigger, then a correction, and then a drop. So you see, don't expect this to go like this. It won't let you time to take the trade. It will, so just wait for that correction, and it will let you the time to get into the trade if you're trying to sell it. Now expect this top to be broken, as to me this is clean, ABC, clean one, and it could happen at any moment, like I've seen in my last weekly analysis. So I hope this video was a little bit helpful. I tried to explain as much as I could, as clear as I could. Also, I know I took some time explaining things that were not really relevant, but I did what I could to let you know about the wave theory, especially for those who are not too familiar with it. So if you have any question and you want to know more about it, feel free to join the Discord. The link is in the description down below. And also feel free to ask your question in the comments. I can also reply right there and give you my thoughts about, for example, if you have an asset that you're wondering if it's going up or down, I can make it on a video, but I can also reply you in the comments and tell you my thoughts on a small, short and sweet paragraph. So let me know about it. And if you like this video, feel free to share with your friends. It means a lot to me. Then see you in my next one. Peace.